Hi everyone! Uh, Apologies for those who watched my first video and wanted to see more of the 1000-year-old vampire. Unfortunately, my computer got completely wiped, so I lost all of the data, basically everything, and also I was sick for a very long time. I also dislocated my shoulder, so I don't have anything else. I don't have the rest of the document that I was writing. Fortunately, I can still do it again, but I'm not honestly in the mood for the vampire right now. I do wish to do it again and to complete it, because it is an amazing game. But right now we are looking at something else. I was thinking about creating or using these games, these journaling games, to create a world, or at least a part of a world and a culture. Maybe something that I could use then to write, actual stories in. So I want to start with 3 games actually. Well, this video is going to be about the first of these games. This game or tool is called the Pamphlet of Pantheons. You can see the author here, and I'm going to obviously post links to this in the the description of the video. Now, I should explain. So first, we are going to use this to generate the pantheon, the gods of this world. Then, the second game, which will be the next video, will be about creating a map and cultures of this world. And the third game will be about following the fates of the royal family. I already played through all of these games, at least somewhat. I played more than once with some of these games to see if this is something I can do, because these games are not made by the same person as far as I know. This was just an idea of mine, but I thought it would be cool. So we are going to start with the pamphlet. The pamphlet sorry, gives you several archetypes of gods, of divine beings. You don't have to use all of them, as I'll show you. I've chosen already some of them. I have chosen the Arrayer of Armies, the Bestower of Plenty, the Celestial Sovereign, the Firebringer, the Fruitful Earth, the Heavenly Youth, the Hierarch of Hell, the Monster Slayer, and the Outsider. Now, what are these? These are divine archetypes. Basically, your gods of fertility, your gods of medicine, but each of them has, as you can see, 6 possibilities how you could flavor the god. This is done, you can do it obviously just by choosing, but I'm going to roll dice, which you are supposed to do, I think. But first, I actually want to skip and first choose... Oh, then we will do other stuff as well. We are going to choose the so-called crowns, which are positions and attributes, other attributes your gods can have. There are minor gods we are going to create, and we are going to skip the names because I'm going to pick and create my own names. Or maybe I will choose without rolling anything. Then we will do the religion part, which I'm not still sure if I want to do individually for each god, or perhaps the religion itself will be for all of the gods, and the rites and rituals, the festivals and the temples are going to be picked through dice. And then there are creatures and treasures, which I will again roll for the individual gods. Okay, so let's start with the look and feel of our pantheon. I'm going to roll the dice, but I might do so on something, well, just on the table. 2. More or less ordinary humans, but with distinctive features, uncommon skin or eye colors, archaic dress, or what have you. I'm going to actually copy this because it's going to be much easier for me. And as you can hear, my voice still is not exactly steady. Oh, perhaps I should do it this way. And yeah, the smaller font is better. Okay, so our gods basically look like humans, but they have some uncommon traits. So maybe the arrayer of armies has like a bronze skin, like actual bronze color, and maybe it's also shining, so it's, you know, uncommon and unnatural. Or the Firebringer has fiery eyes, not just reddish, but actually fiery eyes. Well, but not unnaturally, so. Okay. And the signs of divinity. So how does one recognize that someone or something is a god, and how it differs from a demon, a spirit, or an angel? So again, rolling. There is an unearthly glow in their eyes, or an unusual color of hair or skin. Well, that fits absolutely perfectly with what we have already chosen or rolled for. So even amongst supernatural beings, our gods basically look like humans, but have different colors, their hair and skin. Okay, and that's how our gods look and feel. Now I'm going to start with the individual gods. So I'm going to start with the arrayer of armies. Let my name be in the bronze-voiced trumpet, and let my offerings be made with the sword. War, its virtues and its ills, courage, glory, cruelty, loss, suffering, collective strength, the prop or ruin of the state. So, rolling again, and it's 4. A master strategist whose devotees are generals and kings. So, that's the first thing we'll choose for the arrayer of armies. Yeah. And then we'll first choose these first attributes, and then we're going to do it again for the crowns and servitors and so on. So the next one is the bestower of plenty. Oh no. 14. Alright. So, the bestower of plenty. Toil, pray, prosper, and rejoice. Full barns and bulging storehouses, gold and gems to outshine the stars in the sky. So, rolling again. 6. A jolly figure who hands out wealth as a gift, not as a reward. Well, you can see how the gods can actually really differ even if they have the same archetype, because the bestower of plenty can be sort of a capitalist god, whereas here he's more of a, you know, oh, here, have some money. And the same can be said about the war god, or the arrayer of armies, who can be a strategist, or sort of a former barbarian god, and so on. So that's the bestower of plenty. And as we go along with these gods, there will be a story created, sort of. I've tried this several times, and it's always fun, because you will notice that maybe some of the gods are more primal, whereas the others are more sort of like for an advanced society or culture. Or perhaps you will see that one of the gods had previously died and risen again, so maybe there was a conflict. So I'm sure we will create a story as well. So the next one is the Celestial Sovereign. And I believe it was 14, I hope. Yep. The Celestial Sovereign. 6. Oh, that's the first time I've actually rolled for this, because I usually roll 3. So, Celestial Sovereign. Who set the stars in their courses and gave names even to the lights of heaven? The cosmic order, serene and harmonious and detached, oversees the orderly operation of the universe, or maybe embodies it, rarely concerned with the affairs of mortals. So 6. Civilized and refined, the master of complex heavenly bureaucracy. Alright. When we'll finish doing this, I will probably choose gender and names of the gods, so I still want to first decide or roll for what they are before choosing that. So the Firebringer, sort of a Prometheus-esque figure. The Firebringer. Alone you defied heaven, alone you brought us what was forbidden, alone you fell. Teacher of arts and sciences, source of inspiration. 1. Wore mortal guise and walked among humans. Descendants may yet live. So as I said, I'm going to use this to create a mythology for a world, for other games. So perhaps the descendants of this Firebringer are actually the royal house we are going to play with in the last or the third game that I want to do. So maybe that's an idea for the future. Oh, I don't want that. I don't like that. Okay. The Fruitful Earth. I skipped some of the archetypes. As I said, there are 16 of them. 8 or 9, I'm not sure how many we have, 9 I think, is already enough. So, the Fruitful Earth. For life from dead earth, for the tree heavy with fruit, for the growing field we thank you. Bringer of crops, feeder of nations. That's a cool-ass title. 1. Ritually sacrificed to bring the gifts of the earth. Okay. Interesting, interesting. Okay. The Heavenly Youth. Heavenly Youth. Here I sit and listen to the song, or play or sleep, just as I choose. Will you stay with me? Life, beauty, not childhood, but youth. A time of exploration and adventure. So, rolling 1. Favorite child of heaven, doomed to die as a sign of the world's end. Some may say they will be one day reborn, but others doubt. So this is already amazing if you are... Of course, you can use this game to create your pantheon for a D&D adventure, for example. So maybe you rolled this and you are like, oh, as a DM, people are going to receive visions that a god, this god, is dying, meaning the world is going to die. And that could create a fun adventure, I think. So, but maybe I could use this again when creating the royal family, because it also gives you prompts. So does the other game as well, which is amazing too. All of them are. Super fun. Heavenly Youth. So, the Hierarch of Hell, as I understand it, is not necessarily the devil, but more like a Hades figure, a god of the underworld. The Hierarch of Hell. All who set foot beyond the iron door are mine, and never shall I release them. Not a punisher of sinners, but the custodian of the underworld. So yeah, as I said. So, rolling 2. Keeps regal, cheerless state in a silent palace, deep beneath the earth. Oh. Copy. And yeah, so just looking at it, we have the array of armies, who is a master strategist and is associated with generals and kings. We have a bestower of plenty, who is a jolly figure. We have a celestial sovereign, who is civilized and refined. We have Firebringer, who just went around with them, went around the mortals. The fruitful earth, who is ritually sacrificed. A heavenly youth who is doomed to die as the sign of the end of the world. And the hierarch of hell, who is regal and cheerless. So I'm already seeing that the gods are sort of divided between the more authority and order, and the less order and more chaos, less orderly and more, and those who are more chaotic and jolly, and oh, maybe this is like split between duty and not maybe joy, or just free time, so to speak. Okay, so no, we don't have necessarily a conflict of like a conflict, a bloody conflict, but a conflict of an outlook on the life of humans, for example. Alright, so Monster Slayer. Yeah. Then the holy weapon raised, the divine panoply flashed and glittered, and the heaven trembled. The cosmic struggle of good against evil, order against chaos, or us against them, bold and warlike, the champion of the gods. 5. Once a mortal hero ascended to godhood. Great mortal warriors aspire to do the same. Alright. So maybe this truly could be like our conflict. I like to make conflicts for these gods, actually. So, before I forget, we should, technically speaking, create the rules a double. One archetype gets 2 gods, so I'm still not sure who it's going to be. Well, I will first finish the outsider and then do that. But as I said, I'm already seeing a sort of a division between duty and maybe fate and a little bit of chaos and self-determination, sort of. So while there isn't a conflict as a war, there is a philosophical and theological conflict. So maybe the pantheon is sort of divided. We have the celestial sovereign, who is, all about rules and bureaucracy. We have the array of armies, who is about strategy, about kings and generals. We have the heavenly youth, who represents fate and fatality, and the hierarch of hell, who again represents the regal but cheerless underworld. Then we have on the other hand, we have the bestower of plenty, who gives out gifts. We have the Firebringer, who just decided to have children, and yeah, I'm going to say he had children, or she, still not sure. Fruitful earth. Yeah, I'm not sure about fruitful earth. Well, Monster Slayer definitely is on the side of maybe not chaos, but on the side of self-determination, humanity defending itself. So yeah, already there is a split. So, and the outsider, wolf friend, swift-footed, exulting with wild cries, or you who love hot blood, hear us. Inhabitant of wild places, hunter, traveler, and friend to animals. And 6. The beautiful face of a young hunter masked over an ancient bestial power. Ooh, that sounds cool. Okay. So the outsider. Alright. Oh, I forgot to do this. So, we already have some idea of a split. Again, you don't have to create it, but I like to do so. Yeah, so I'm already thinking that, pardon, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so it's sort of divided, yeah, because there is 9 of the gods, and 4 are on the side of destiny, so maybe destiny, could call it. So 4 of them are on the side of destiny and fatality and fate, and the others are about self-determination and courage, or perhaps not courage, but hope, determination. Yeah, I could see it, with the fruitful earth actually being neutral, I would say. Although it being ritually sacrificed does seem like it's something connected to destiny and fate and fatality. But again, it's ritually sacrificed, so it's more of the humans do it thinking that's how it's done. So I'm going to say that the fruitful earth is a neutral party. Or perhaps fruitful earth is not the neutral party, it's the heavenly youth. It could be the heavenly youth because it is doomed to die, so maybe it doesn't want to really die, but, you know, not sure how it can change its fate. So yeah, I think it's actually going to be we have the gods already divided. The array of armies, the celestial sovereign, the fruitful earth, and the hierarch of hell on one side, and the bestower of plenty, the firebringer, the monster slayer, and the outsider on the other side. Now, the next part of the game would be to bestow the crowns. I might first bestow the crowns and then decide for names and genders of the gods. So, that is 10 of these. I'm going to first roll how many of these I'm going to hand out. Not every god is going to have one. And I'm going to first roll which ones I'll choose, and then I will pick a god that I think should have it. So I'm going to have 7 of these. 7 of the... oh dearest. 7 crowns. Okay, so the first one. 8. The granter of fortune. Smile on us, O divine one, for truly baby needs a new pair of shoes. Okay, so the granter of fortune, so we could use these as titles for the gods as well. So, who could be the granter of fortune? Well, I think that's simple. That could be that would be the bestower of plenty, I think. Yep, definitely the granter of fortune. Yep. Next. At 6, the patron of mothers, prayed to in childbirth. Mothers, do not work on this god's feast. Okay, since the one before was a little bit of a joke, I like the entirety of the 6th one, so I'm going to copy all of it. And who could that be? Now, that could be the fruitful earth. I mean, it makes sense. But actually I was thinking the fruitful earth could be a male. And I imagine the patron of mothers tends to be usually a female. Or a woman. The fruitful earth being a man, because you have some neo-pagan religions actually having this idea of sacrificing, not just neo-pagan, just pagan in general, sacrificing a male deity, oftentimes horned deity, so that the earth and the seasons are renewed. So the heavenly youth, although it would be cool to have a male patron of mothers, it could be the monster slayer, maybe a protector of mothers as protector of all humankind, or perhaps the heavenly youth. Yeah, I'm going with the heavenly youth. So, the Heavenly Youth. Right, I'll just save it to be sure, and that was 1, 2, 9. Love deity or matchmaker. Pick one, split them up, or make them two aspects of the same deity. I'm just going to go with the love deity. Well, I think that's obvious again. That could be the Firebringer. Wore immortal guise and walked among humans, descendants may live. Yeah, that makes sense. So, the Firebringer is a love deity. So that's the third. 1. The Crown of Heaven. Sovereign ruler and patron of monarchs. Not necessarily the same as celestial sovereign. Well, I think here it again makes sense to place it again it's simple. It's the arrayer of armies, because he is the god of kings and generals. So perhaps, well, we'll see. And that was the fourth. 2. Lawgiver. Created society's rules and gave them to mortals, patron of lawyers and legislators and peacekeepers. Well, that would be the celestial sovereign. So the celestial sovereign is basically, the Crown of Heaven could be sort of a monarch, but the celestial sovereign maybe being the prime minister, sort of, or something like that. Yeah. Alright, that's the celestial sovereign, and that's the fifth, I believe. That's 9, already had that. That's 1, already had that. That's 3. Ancestor of the people, wed a mortal to produce a nation. Our tribe has divine ancestry, which makes us special. Well, oh, shit. Maybe I should have picked these before assigning them to anyone. Okay. Well, again, I think that's the Firebringer then. So the Firebringer has like two... Well, let me know. Maybe not. Don't be hasty. It could be the Hierarch of Hell. Maybe that's the reason why they are so cheerless. That they lost their loved one, and, well, that doesn't make sense because they would end up at their court, so to speak. It could be the Fruitful Earth, too. But you know what, I'll give it to the Hierarch of Hell. No, I'm going to give it to the Fruitful Earth. And that's the reason why it's being sacrificed. It wants to protect its descendants. Well, at least its tribe of descendants. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the last one. And the last one is the Scourge of Heaven. All deities are vengeful, but this one specializes. Well, that's going to be the Hierarch of Hell. Yeah. Alright, so we are already having a, full-fledged pantheon, actually. Apologies. Now, I will start with the names. I will just look. What's next? Minor gods, okay. So, alright. So we'll start with the... with the gender. Or I will just do in the individual gods first. So the arrayer of our armies already had a name, Mezoran, and he is going to be, maybe I'll just say male. The bestower of plenty, a jolly figure who stands out as granter of fortune. I could see this being, an entity, maybe they are a shapeshifter. I'm sort of seeing them as a shapeshifter, so they don't actually use a name. Maybe they use the granter of fortune as, or bestower of plenty as their title. So no name, and they are called they, are going to be non-binary. So they are the deity of fortune and plenty. The celestial sovereign, the lawgiver. Again, the lawgiver already sounds like a cool name, so... But I have a name. Aruna. Aruna is female. I imagine her as a wise and old but a stern woman. The Firebringer. So that would be, a little bit inspired by the Greek Catherine, and she's a female. I imagine her sort of like the Joan of Arc, clad in armor. Well, I think Joan wore some armor. Actually, I think that was the reason they, well, not the actual reason they executed her, but I think that was the explanation. And the outsider. I'm actually going to leave the outsider as it is. The outsider, I think, is... Since, first of all, they wear a mask of a young hunter, that would be male or female, and they are this bestial power in truth, this ancient bestial power. I'm going to think that, or I'm going to see them as perhaps they don't really conform to any sort of gender identity, and even the mortals just call them the outsider. Alright. That's fine. Alright, I think I'm going to end the video now, and I'm going to continue in a next video so that I can drink some water and think about stuff. Okay, see ya!